Hi everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Scrap Heap Tales. Thank you for tuning in. Today we have the episode called Medicine Man on 47th Street, and we have a special narrator by the name of Pete Sullivan today. He also narrated the last one, Dusty Red Robot, so if you checked out the re-release of that one, it's the same person, and I'm hoping to get him featured on some more episodes moving forward. This week's episode, the reason I started writing it is I got to thinking a lot about what is a reason for being here. It was the anniversary of my uncle's death, and it also happened to be the anniversary of a friend's death as well. And just had a lot on my mind, and I kind of channeled it into this piece that I'm posting about today. So, I came to the conclusion that I don't know my reason for being here, and that's okay. And I'm going to keep writing and posting and just being me until I figure it out. And maybe I don't. Man, that's fine too. In the meantime, I'm just going to keep making stories. To everyone who's watched so far, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'm still working on trying to get some extra money together to pay some artists and have them featured on, have their art featured on the slides instead of using the concept art that I've been using with Copilot AI so far. It's worked. I've gotten some pretty decent compliments, from it, despite the fact that it is AI. But I think having actual illustrations would bring it to life in a way that AI never could. Really, it's just been a handy tool to kind of help me really get the concept out there, and instead of it languishing on a hard drive or a piece of paper. So yeah, if you tuning in, if you're still watching, I appreciate it. Please make sure to subscribe, comment below what you think, and yeah, hope to see you tune in next week. Thanks.
The Medicine Man on 47th Street by Mario I. Rodriguez. We had to get the Medicine Man his own panacea for a poison rotting him out from inside. Leaving the skids on 47th Street, we made our way further into Manhattan to find a Dwayne on the corner of 52nd and Madison. Dwayne Reed. We believed he had the remedy in hand, exactly what we needed to cure the Medicine Man. Clindamycin was what we were looking for, something to cure the lesions that clove and aloe couldn't penetrate. Bedridden for days, our community grew sicker and sicker with him out of commission. It was the job of the Vileborn to get him back to healing. Hoofing it down the street, the Diamond District was long gone. What remained were ramshackle mosques and temples, places for the lost to worship. They huddled around plastic bonfires, rotted pews, and molded rugs. The Medicine Man served them once upon a time, when he was still what he calls a sales rep, slinging drugs for doctors to prescribe. One wrong turn into the skids, and meeting the lonely tykes subsisting on refuse changed everything. From then on, we made home-batched Haas and used the profits to treat the orphans that would later become the Vileborn. The streets were somehow cleaner than they were before the fall. All the garbage that lined the streets before could now be reused. Nothing could be wasted. A banana peel could be composted, plastic burned, metal refabricated, wood salvaged. Everything had a purpose now, even us. Decayed and hollow, the tree was still standing at the Rockefeller Center, a memory of a world left behind. When the world went to shit, there wasn't much time to take down decorations. Unfortunately, the Eastern Hemisphere didn't care much for Christmas when they cashed in their grievances. Shame no one got to open presents that year after the bombs dropped. Fifth Avenue was once a part of a bustling metropolis. Now, it's just a cruel reminder of what was in a forgotten concrete swamp. The Saks sign caught my eye every time we passed by. We snuck through the ransacked store, careful not to alert the cannibals in the cathedral across the street. What was once a sanctuary was now a torture chamber, with traps lining the street. To pass by St. Patrick's Cathedral in the daylight was a death sentence. But so was the medicine man's skin infection, and thus we had no choice. The store was barren. Much like 47th, the people came for the sparkly stuff first. The diamonds, opals, rubies, purses, ties, shoes, suits. The immaterial that didn't matter much anymore. Symbols of a status quo long gone. It wasn't until later that they came back for the food, the medicine, the water. The medicine man said Dwayne had other spots closer to us, but they were all ransacked. We had to make the journey across the avenues. I always hated being that close to Central Park, with the brass just a stone's throw away. We were still under martial law, and they didn't take too kindly to looting. Cutting down 50th, we had to go down and around to avoid St. Patrick's goons. We sprinted down Park Avenue, past the rusted jalopies left abandoned on the street. A sniper at St. Bartholomew's took a shot at us. We heard it crack and whiz by. He missed, and we bolted. Getting to 52nd, we started scanning the street, looking for any doofus slinging meds. Despite our frantic searching, there was no one. Just one abandoned store after another. It didn't click until we heard a garbled voice say, "Welcome to Duane Reade." It dawned on us we weren't looking for a guy. We were looking for a place. A pharmacy. The kind of place the medicine man warned me about before. Once we got past the doors, we were taken aback by how pristine everything was. Like the place was left forgotten in time with fully stocked shelves. Some of the food had not even expired yet. I guess the crazies around here kept the riffraff away. The same grizzled voice kept pleading with us to come in and shop till you drop. Reaching the back of the store, past the chips, drinks, and stuffies, we found it. A rotting SO3 model. Sales operatives meant to replace people. They were quickly abandoned after the riots of 2093, but a few bots still remained out in the wild. "Hello, how can I help you?" I kept it brief as we were pressed for time, but to be honest, I hated the fucking things. They replaced my father at the shop before the fall. Clindamycin. "Do you have a prescription?" "No, I needed to fill it. Where can I find it?" "Cubby D7. We found 4 tubes. We took 3. Taking a second to look around, we wondered if we needed anything. Not having room, we took stock of what was left, made note of the food that was still good, refilled any canteens we had on us. Lastly, we put the bot out of its misery. We avoided the butchers of Madison Ave on the walk home. By the time we made it back, it was too late. The medicine man was too frail. He beckoned me, called for me to meet him. Only I was allowed in. And I learned his horrible secret. He wasn't dying from skin lesions. The skin wasn't even real. The man who gave us a second life was not even a man at all. He was a cyborg. A CX-4 model. What was failing was his motherboard, not his immune system. There was no immune system all along. Only circuits. Leaning in close, he begged me to end it. Put him out of his misery. I never would have considered it, but I gotta admit, knowing he was a bot after all those years, I tragically took him up on his request. Not wanting to undo all his work, he begged me not to tell anyone. Instead, I told everyone. Thinking I was righting a long-standing wrong. It wasn't until the battles began that I realized what I had undone. Now, it's up to the Vileborn to spread the word of the medicine man once more.
thanks everyone. So that was the Medicine Man on 47th Street. So on Medium, I've posted two stories so far. One is called Blue Dream. It's about a young girl on the beaches of Delphinus who is considering whether or not she should jump into the water while she's with her mother, despite what her god may think on that. And then the other story that I've posted is Solar Drift, which is about an astronaut who has been put into a position that he has to save his ship and the options that are available to him, and what happens as a result of those options that he takes. That one's a little bit needs a little bit of a disclaimer. It's very much almost a direct interpretation of my uncle's passing. He unfortunately chose not to be here anymore, so that is what that story is about. And yeah, I hope you enjoy them. Working on trying to get Blue Dream as the next episode up on YouTube. I'm hoping to reached out to a voice actor to see if she'd be willing to, lend her voice for that piece. Here's hoping, and if not, I'll try and get the other one up first, and then maybe circle back around to Blue Dream, get Solar Drift up. But anyway, I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. Comment and subscribe. Thanks. I hope to see you again next week. Appreciate it.